Okay, good afternoon. It's another episode of our political shows on Nigeria. And today we are talking about the seizure of national assets. President Bola Tinubu recently traveled to France using a newly acquired Airbus A330, which was intended to replace the older Boeing 737 that had been used for 19 years. This decision was made to ensure safer and more reliable presidential travel. Now, some of our assets were seized by a certain Chinese company, Zunan Fang, because of contractual agreements that Nigeria failed to do their own bargain on them. And this has led to a kind of fraction between Nigeria and China. To discuss that with me today is Mustafa, Said, and Warif.
Okay,
Mustafa, you
welcome
can jump
everyone.
in from here.
Welcome back to Global Politics, and we want to thank our fans, especially in Nigeria, South Africa, and even in the lowly country of the United States. Thank you for watching. We bring original content which goes against the grain that most people speak about. We want to ask that you like and subscribe and follow our show because it's important to follow our show so we can continue putting out a message that the big corporation TV shows, channels don't want to discuss. We give a voice to everyone. Okay, so we'll start with this. Syed, how's everything in Lagos Island?
Fine. Only first city.
Is it raining? Yeah. I like the glasses, yeah. All right. Okay, so brief us a little bit, because I know this is a story that's very close to your heart. Give us more what has developed. We've talked about this, but are there any new developments that's taking place in this story about the seizure of Nigerian assets, and then they're blaming Ogun State, right? Is it Ogun State that they're blaming for this whole thing, or is it's Ogun State or Ondo State? It's Ogun, right? Yeah.
Yes, it's Ogun State.
Yeah. So say any new developments that you've seen this week since we last spoke?
Nothing really special. Just the same old, same old.
Yeah.
The president is in France now. He said he's on a work stay. I don't know what that means. Probably you that you're in America. Probably you can help us. We are learning English language in Nigeria here, but I don't know. I know quite a little bit of English language, but I don't know what I don't understand what work stay means.
Anyway, so maybe the French police requested him for terrorism. Inside joke. Everybody knows what I'm talking about, right?
but to be candid, it just shows how our leaders don't really give a damn about what we're going through in Nigeria. You can imagine the president traveled in the moment when 20 Nigerian students is still under kidnappers then. You travel a whole 20 number of human beings like in Nigeria that you saw to protect. That one aside, I don't know if you read the news. Just yesterday, one of the top emirs in Sokoto was kidnapped and killed after demanding for 60 million. Now I just even read this morning now that they've even given them the 60 million naira and some cows and some stuff, but they still refuse to release the dead corpse.
The body.
I'm just reading that this morning.
No, but what's happening to Nigeria? This place is becoming lawless. The other day we said that
you can imagine all this. My point is you can imagine all this happening. Still yet, my president still went to France, a work stay, while the country is burning, while the country is under this insecurity.
Yeah.
So concerning the plane stuff, nothing really happened. From what I read, it's still on same old. I told you the last time we discussed it that they will settle out of court.
Yeah.
So
and also,
even of recent,
go ahead. Yeah.
Of recent, I'm still even reading that some of our properties in Liverpool. I told you that this will open doors for other people that have similar.
They want to take advantage of this.
The Liverpool house now, and some properties in London now. They are now putting it as in all these companies. They are now going after it, and going by what I even read and some deep thinkers, they said even these houses that these companies are trying to put out now will still be bought by our same leaders through their product company. You understand? And which is something that they can do. You understand?
And also, thank you. also, the Chinese companies released one plane for him. They released one of his planes. So he flew. But my view is that he's going there. Tinubu.
You can imagine.
I don't want to call him.
That means they have a deal, some sort of deal. Before the Chinese people they have some sort of deal.
They're already working on a deal.
They have.
And also it shows us that whatever assets they took, those assets belong to Tinubu, which shows to corruption. That's why he's going there. He wants his planes back. So what they said is that you owe whatever Ogun State owes money. It's a lie. It's business that they did through the government. They said they owe money. So when they say they seized Nigerian airplanes, what they're saying is they seized Tinubu's assets because he's controlling those Airbuses. They're probably bringing in private fortune for him. So he's going there to work on a deal.
The so-called new airplane is not even new. I don't know if you're updated on that. It is even a 15-year-old plane, refurbished plane.
And
so
probably
they said the one we are using before, 19 years old, is too old, but they now went ahead and buy a 15-year-old plane. How does that make sense, please?
And this is not acceptable because Nigeria is the largest Black country in the world, and we have more resources than most countries in the world. Secondhand things, we have intelligent people. We don't need to have this type of to function like this, where you have kidnappings. Nobody can travel. When you travel now, you have to be underground. You have to be low because you're afraid for your life. It wasn't like that when I was growing up, but when we were growing up in the 90s and 80s, it wasn't like that. So the country has gotten really worse. What are your thoughts on this?
Even what we are doing now, sorry to cut you short, even what we are doing now, a lot of people, they are messaging me, entering my DM saying, man, kudos to me that I'm trying with what I'm doing. Like, like they are even scared for me. You can imagine just for saying what I'm saying. And our platform is not that
in a democratic government.
In a democratic country. Yeah.
In a democratic, thank you, in a democratic government, you can't even mind. They will say they'll come after you. And really, they do come after people like us in Nigeria.
Oh, yeah, they've done it. They're going cyber. They called the guy, the leader of the labor union. They called him to the police station and they said cyber terrorism. So what cyber terrorism means that if you speak out against the government, that's terrorism. What are your thoughts?
They can't even say what it means. It's all encroached in English language that you won't understand. They'll just use a big word for you to just cover it up. The cyber security, whatsoever that they're saying, cyber security terrorism.
It's internet.
They should state it. What can you say that will make it a cyber terrorism act or whatsoever they call it? They should state the word. What word are you not supposed to say? What sentence are you not supposed to make? But they will just enshrine the whole thing.
This goes to show you that, I hate to say it, but Nigeria has become a fascist country. This is fascism. This is how fascism works, to scare people from going against the government. What are your thoughts, Warif? Thank you.
Well, for the what's it called, for the Ogun State issue, there is no much apart from the Airbus that has been released, and our president traveling to France. He's just I don't know if I'll say he's a tourist minister, like traveling.
Yeah, he's going on.
Why his house is on fire, kidnapping, killing everywhere. Now let me just deviate a little concerning the NLC chairman that has been invited to the police. Now, before this time, they went to their office and they ransacked it. That's, I think, some few days after the bad governance protest. They went there to break their office and to check for some documents, saying that they're the ones funding the protests and things like that. Sometimes it seems just amazes me as if these people, they are clueless. They don't even have brains to think. You are not doing well, and people are saying you're not doing well. You are pointing finger at somebody. Why not point the finger at yourself? Now, NLC, they are saying that if by the time he goes to the office and he's detained, that they will go on strike. You are saying that he's alleged sponsoring terrorism. How much does that man has? Or how much does he have?
I tell you, what they're saying is that Nigeria should not have a labor union. That's what they're trying to say. They're trying to say
because they're always checkmating their government.
Yeah.
So
it's been predicted. Sorry, Warif, it's been predicted by historians. Whenever an empire is on its way down, it becomes fascist. So what I'm saying is that we're seeing the U.S. struggling, and we're seeing that Nigeria is controlled by the U.S. and Britain. They even put Tinubu. Well, I won't say, yeah. Let's just say the election results were questionable. So now they're doubling down, and it's not just the Nigerian government behind this thing, because these people that are protesting are calling for change in Nigeria, and IMF don't want to see change in Nigeria because it will cut into their profits. It's the same thing they did to Sarawiwa. As soon as you stand up for the rights of Nigerians, of people want a better life. If you want a better life in Nigeria, it means we have to control our resources. Now the government, that's why they're coming hard. They're showing they're taking off their mask. They're telling you, no, Nigeria is not a democratic country. You have to listen to what the cabal says, what the leaders say, and the leaders are the ruling class. What are your thoughts, Warif? And then we'll go to Afolabi. Yeah.
Okay, that is just it. It's like it's a military regime in disguise.
Yeah.
Because whatever thing they say, you question it, is as if you are their enemy. And
yeah,
in a democratic government,
they even arrested. They had Sweden arrest that guy, the Igbo guy that was pushing for Obi to win, and they had him arrested in Sweden. So that means Sweden is also involved. That's why I'm saying this is a Western thing. Nigerian leadership is controlled by the West.
Politics.
Yeah, continue.
Okay. For example, now the Port Harcourt refinery, they said, they said it is August. Now they are saying September. Now you are saying September. There's no specific. Before this time, they said it was going to start production by December last year. And this is August, almost heading to September. So everything about them is just like watching Tom and Jerry cartoon, where anything is possible.
Yeah, same thing. They're not going to nationalize. They're not going to give money to Dangote to make petroleum in the country. They're just saying that to buy time. Continue. Sorry.
So the whole thing, they have nothing to offer to this country. They are just about me, myself, and I acquiring for themselves. You know, one thing I've noticed right now about this Nigerian government, our politician, is that they have to look for a way to belong to the cabal so that they can get a piece of the cake.
Yeah.
Because if you are not among the big boys, the cabal, you are just like floating. Now, the same people that are in government, the same people that they want, for God's sake, we have the crude oil here in Nigeria. We have the manpower. We have everything. We have good engineers. Go out there, check outside countries. You have good doctors, good engineers. But why are things not working in Nigeria? Because they are forced. They are the same people that are supposed to make things work. They are the one killing the system. When you talk, they lay allegation on you and tell you are funding terrorism. That they're funding cyber crime. Kidnapping everywhere. Like what Said said, if they know they cannot handle this, they should bring in other military mercenary to help them fight this crime.
Yeah, and I hate to say, I'm not going back to, maybe you need to bring in, like you said, almost like martial law, bringing the military until there's control. But that means the military has to be disciplined, and the military is becoming more like civilians in military clothing, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So this is a big problem. What are your thoughts, Falabi?
I quite agree with what everybody has said. I just want to double down on Mustafa's point that Nigeria is fast becoming a fascist country. You know, we don't want to go the direction of Mussolini in Italy or Adolf Hitler, but it appears every time there's opposition is healthy. It's one of the tenets of democracy. Every time there's opposition, one way or the other, it's been suppressed and crushed by the government. I mean, look at the issue of the debts that was being seized. It's an international embarrassment. Now we have to pay about $70 million for damages. Who's going to bear that kind of financial burden at a time where there's hardship and poverty in Nigeria? It's so sad that even the president could step out of Nigeria and say he's going to France at a time like this, when the house is on fire. Look at the situation of the medical students that were abducted in Benue State. 20 of them. They know that this road is dangerous. They know that there are kidnappers on this road. Now, the same policemen that arrested people for protesting illegally should go to that place and rescue those innocent students, because it's becoming a joke. Nigeria's situation is becoming a charade.
We don't even know if the policemen is even their friends and relatives that are the kidnappers. I'm serious.
Yes, so it's becoming so sad. Now look at everything now. The foreign direct investment will be discouraged from Nigeria. We need people to come in and invest. When they see the situation between Nigeria and China now, nobody will want to bring in their capital into Nigeria to do any kind of investment.
And then at the same time, the government doesn't want to become self-sustaining and like what they did in Germany after World War II. Germany said, okay, we don't need foreign investment. We create our own bank and we now invest in our own infrastructure because we have enough gold and other things that we can do it for ourselves. So we don't want to do that. We don't want to bring in foreign investors because we're scaring them away. And also we don't want to invest and create our own bonds and create. So what are we going to do then? It's going to lead to more kidnapping, more crime, more instability.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then you look at the NLC, now they're threatening that any kind of aggression on their chairman, they're going on strike. How is a strike? How is a strike going to help us at this time? People stop going to work. There's no productivity. The country is grounded.
But you know what's going to happen? So this is what's going to happen in my theory. They said, come to the police station. The guy said, I'll come on another day. They're going to threaten him and they're going to negotiate with him. And then they're going to say, these protests must end. And that's what's going to happen. So what they're doing is they're bullying him. They're not going to arrest him. They're letting him know that the labor union should not overstep its bounds. I think that's what's going to happen.
Which is fascism. Which is fascism, really.
That's fascism. Yeah. What are your thoughts, Kenas, Saeed? Yeah. Which one do you prefer? We say both.
I would like to comment also on the NLC issue. Let me not lie to you. If not for the fact that we shouldn't allow things like this to happen, I would have said this is karma. Because remember during the protest, they tried to tell Nigerians that they are not part of it, that their own ways is different. When things is happening to Nigerians, as in the masses, you won't find NLC leaders and their top hierarchy putting out some words and putting in words to support the masses. Now look at each time they want to protest, it is definitely for themselves. It is definitely for themselves. Okay. Now imagine, because they want to go after your leader now, you are now saying you will protest.
They want to protect China. They want to say China and France are unfair. It's a lie. These guys are following the law. They're following the law.
To me, I understand that what the allegations the police are trying to make against him, I know that definitely it is political. Yeah. I don't see that man as rich enough to sponsor terrorism and some stuff that they mentioned that he's doing. I don't think that, but he should go there and go and, it is just something that because there's this Yoruba saying that they say that because something is not happening to you, that is happening to others, it doesn't concern you. When we've been speaking all along that things is not going right. As in this protest, this end bad governance protest, it is a long time coming. It is something that even the NLC should be the one pioneering it. That should be the one in front of it. As in, because it is the only thing is now it has gotten to their own part. Now they are threatening to protest.
Oh yeah, but see,
a lot of reasonable Nigerians don't take them serious anymore. But here's the thing. I don't take them serious.
You said karma. Look, because you study political science. No matter what country you live in, Israel, the U.S., Nigeria, there are laws which there are sort of like physical laws which determine economics and social behavior. Karma is showing Nigeria cannot function like this, where we're not different from any other country. We're going to continue going into chaos until there's true democracy and order and ending of corruption. If we don't, we're going to wake up. Because remember, Warif, Afolabi, do you remember when you could buy a Peugeot for 5,000 naira? In the 1988, you could buy Peugeot for 5,000. One naira was, 1 pound was 2 naira, or it was 1 to 1. So what I'm saying is that
somebody was even saying 1,500.
But we don't believe.
I saw a receipt for 1,200 from my friend's father. The receipt is still there. As in, 1,200 naira. Well, 505.
No, when I was in school, I went to ISL. My parents would give me 5 naira. 5 naira would last me for a week. So what I'm saying is that as you continue to have more corruption and you continue taking loans from IMF and then you don't build infrastructure, karma means cause and effect. The effect will be a destruction of your society, slowly eroding. We never had kidnappings. We never had these types of things. We never had children disrespecting their parents. We're becoming more like some of the things you see in the US in the ghetto. Nigeria is becoming a ghetto. But then one day people will be like, how did it happen? It happened because how can that's why they call Nigeria the sleeping giant of Africa. It's actually the sleeping giant of the world. How can a country where everything day, you know what they say, everything day, oil, minerals, everything. Why are we living like this? We don't even have electricity. Come on. What are your thoughts, Afolabi?
I agree with you. And electricity that is so basic is just so annoying. Look at the comedy that has been played out by NMPC. Recently, they announced that they made some profits, and stuff like that. Everybody knows that's just paperwork. NMPC has sold Nigeria to its creditors abroad. Now we're borrowing money and we're collateralizing money borrowed with future proceeds from crude oil. How do you sustain the running of the NMPC with that? None of our refineries are working at installed capacity. You've been telling us since December that the Port Harcourt refinery will start producing. Up till today, there's no evidence that one truck has come out of that refinery.
We are still waiting for the Kaduna refinery.
In my own opinion, an NMPC is a critical national asset that should be protected as much as possible.
So, sorry, Afolabi, can I say one thing? Okay, I want to interrupt you. I'm going to go back to you, Afolabi. So Putin, when Putin was 40 years old, he got his PhD in economics, his master's. His paper was Russian control of Russian minerals to make the country better. That was his PhD thesis. That's why Russia is doing well now. So the point I'm making is that what you said, minerals and oil are national treasures, and they need to be used for the well-being of the country.
Yes.
Very simple. Continue. Yeah.
So basically what I'm saying is that the NMPC shouldn't be state-run. It should be handled like a typical corporate private entity. So that
I'll agree, but here's where I'll disagree with you. But the revenue should go for it should be taxed heavily then if it's private, and the revenue should go. And what they do in China, they have capitalism, but the state owns the resources. So let's say China has oil, the state owns it, but then they lease it out to a private company. So that's what I'm saying. Nigeria, all Nigerians own Nigerian oil, okay? But we can use private companies to run it, but they're leasing it. And if they mess up, then the government can take it away from them. That's what I'm saying.
Absolutely. Because government interference now is making the running of the company not transparent.
Yeah. So the government should regulate. They shouldn't interfere, but they should regulate.
Exactly. So, and if you look at the NMPC, the proceeds should go directly into the Ministry of Finance instead of the government touching it and doing whatever they like with it. If it's not handled that way, they'll still have the problem of governance, corporate governance in the NMPC. And there are a lot of shady deals being done that is not even transparent to the people that are supposed to be benefiting from this oil.
Yeah. I'll tell you a story. I won't say any names, but someone told me that one of our big leaders from the back in the day, military guy, that his son owns the minerals in the northern part of the country. The northern part of the country has uranium. They don't even mention it on the list of Nigerian resources. And they sold it to Italy. They sold it to Italy for 100 years, and they give the guy $150 million a year. So they don't even report So what I'm saying is there are resources that are in Nigeria that aren't reported, so that you can't say it's corruption. And Italian company has it for the next 100 years, and that person's family will collect $150 million per year. So yeah, continue.
At the detriment of Nigerians. And there's a lot of, but you can see why the protest was so intense in the northern part of Nigeria, because they know we have the wherewithal and the resources.
Oh, in the northern part, they have uranium. They have uranium, just like Nigeria and Mali and all those, Burkina Faso. They have it, but they don't report it, because if they don't report it, then you can't accuse people of stealing it.
Of course.
Well, you know what they say, if it doesn't exist, it can't be stolen. Yeah. So we're going to round up. We're going to go to Saeed first to give us his last thoughts. Then we'll go to Warif, and then to Afolabi. Thank you, guys. Yeah. So what are your thoughts, Saeed? Yeah. Warif. Yeah.
Saeed is on mute.
Saeed
is on mute.
Okay, go ahead, Warif. Warif.
Okay. Well, before we round up, I will just say whatever thing our leaders are doing, they should just try and make governance better for Nigerians and do the right thing. If you want to make money, let the economy be better, not providing palliative. Palliative cannot take Nigerians anywhere. Palliative is just like manna. Manna does not last. That's how palliative is. And also, we should try and fight insecurity. The military guys that are out there, they should try and give them they should be well equipped, both in manpower and technology. And also, there should be no sabotage of the military.
I agree. So I'm also one of the people like you, who believes that the military is important, because without a strong military, no country can be sovereign. So we need to have a balance between the military and the elected leaders. Thank you. Okay, so continue. Falabi.
Okay, so basically, what I just wanted
We're
to
having
say is
echo.
that
We're having echo.
I would like NNPC to be more transparent. Nigerians want to know what's going on there because it's our cash cow. Nigeria's economy depends heavily on proceeds from the NNPC. Maybe they can enter into some kind of agreement with big oil companies in Saudi Arabia like Aramco to manage those refineries for a short period of time so that they can boost their production capacity, so that Nigeria can at least make more and refine more. But if we continue on this trajectory, I don't see anything changing anytime soon.
Okay, thank you. Is Said, is he still on mute?
Yes,
if he's not,
around
we can go
now.
up.
It's just that he's on mute. Okay.
Oh yeah, don't worry. No, it's okay. We all did a good job.
Okay.
And
okay.
this is our new show.
Okay.
Said, Said, do you have any last thoughts? Yeah.
Yeah, concerning the fuel, the NNPC saga, I don't know. Probably you guys have read. I read, yesterday or day before yesterday that they are about to go another money on crude oil again. The crude oil that we have, going by the quota we have left now, I read that we only have, out of 100% of what we are producing, we only have about 25%, about 220 something thousand barrels left. So out of the 220 something thousand barrels left, they still want to use part of it to borrow another money. NNPC that is supposed to be making good money for us now, has now turned to another borrowing this thing. That one.
Sorry, I'm going to interrupt you very quickly. I also read this morning that China has already seized $100 million from Nigeria. So that might be affecting this problem. China has already taken it. They've already given it to China. It's been taken.
You can imagine the amount of debt that we have.
Yeah.
So many that we ourselves, the elite, the educated ones, informed ones, we are not even aware of. Now talk of masses. Going by what Mr. Afolabi said again about our minerals. I read, a friend of mine in the north told me about gold. How
they have gold. Nigeria has gold, uranium.
Yeah. Apart from the uranium is even by the side. I'm even talking about gold now and other lines, because at one time while I was growing up, I deal with all this limestone, and I actually made some few bucks from it.
Yeah.
Do you know that our government is
buy suya for me, buy suya for me.
Our government is not even. They are not even declaring the amount of money they are making from it. They are not even thinking about it as a business. Are you getting me? That is
okay. Let Warif mute himself. Afolabi, let Warif mute, because I think it's causing the echo. So don't worry.
I'm mute myself.
Yeah, let him mute. This is good. This has been a very good show. Continue. Kenas. Yeah.
Okay. So as I was saying, the undeclared resources and so many resources that we have that we are supposed to be making money from. People are talking that a lot of countries are moving away. They are moving away from petroleum. Why are we still insisting on making majority of our money in petroleum?
Look at UAE, Dubai. They go to other things. Yeah.
You can even Dubai now. They are making, from what I read, they're making a lot of money from tourism, more than how much they're making from petroleum itself, from crude oil itself. And
at this point, Nigeria is supposed to have nuclear energy. We're supposed to have nuclear energy at this point.
Another analyst I was listening to even gave an analysis that apart from all these mineral resources we are talking about, manpower, our human manpower alone can even make us
we have the manpower.
Over 200
manpower and brain power.
Over 200 million. That alone, do you know, if we put every one of us into work. Do you know what we can generate, what we can produce? We can actually feed ourselves. That one alone can even make us a well-sustained country by itself.
Yeah,
But
without
still,
resources, manpower without resources. Yeah.
Everybody, we are just still talking about petroleum. Our leaders, they are just so even the petroleum
Crude
self,
oil.
even the petroleum self.
Instead of Nigerians.
I did
Say, if we didn't have crude oil, we would be like Ghanaians. Ghanaians are very brilliant, and they only have how many Ghanaians? 30 million, or is it less than 30 million? But they don't have resources, so they use their brains. We have brains, but we've become reliant upon
crude
oil. That's the difference.
The crude oil.
I think oil was a curse for Nigeria. It was a curse. It was a curse. Yeah.
Even the crude oil. Do you know that the so-called millions that they declared, that is even by the side. I even read this morning when I was making my research before coming on here. Well, like the 1 point something that they said we are getting, it is just the official one. That even some companies, they are even producing, they are producing their own crude oil by themselves, running into millions undeclared.
Not to even mention the one that in Delta in those areas, even the ones that those guys siphon, they're making billions off of it.
That's the transparency we're talking about.
Billions of it. Yeah. You can imagine. Now imagine that this petroleum, we are all focusing on this crude oil. We are even getting like 90% of it is getting to the government. Do you know how rich and well sustained we can be? But see it, man, my brother. These our leaders. Let me know, like, if I can close here. They are just heartless people.
Yeah, thank you. So thank you guys. Our shows keep getting better. So the name of our show, we're gonna have a special show. There's always gonna be the four of us. It's going to be Political Corner, and we're going to continue talking because this is doing very well. Your last thoughts? Thank you very much, Saeed. Brilliant analysis. Warif, any last few words before Afolabi takes us out? Yeah.
The Nigerian leaders, they should have the masses at heart and do what they are supposed to do. Our national assets should work well.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And that's what I agree. And that's what I call socialism. It means the assets should work for the whole country, even if it's privatized or government. But as I said before, I think it should be government regulation of private companies that do it. Which is why we have to go back to Dangote. Dangote is very important for Nigeria. So Afolabi, take us out. Last thoughts and take us out.
Okay, we want to say we love our country. We want our country to succeed. And we want our leaders to be more empathetic and transparent. And it is on that note that we round up this wonderful show, Political Corner, with Saeed, Mustafa, and Warif. And from me, it's bye-bye for now.
You're still Afolabi.
I'm still Afolabi.
All right. Good night, guys. God bless you. Thank you very much. Okay.
All right, bye.